Okay, so I soloed the horde mode on Fortnite. It's not something I did off the bat of like off the cuff sort of thing. I had actually planned the run out a little bit, which is why I sort of knew what I was doing. And this is my second attempt today. I played it two or three more times before this, like everything. So yeah, I played four games before this. One was with a fill mode where there were other people in it, but they kept stealing all the ammo. So it was like fuck this. And then me and Yoto played two more games, and then I played one separately just before this one, where I came very close, and then of course this main one where I actually did complete it. My So basically, the first time we played it, I managed to get my hands on a revolver, which is a very very powerful sort of old older like old game pistol. I can't remember what chapter it was introduced in, but it's not in the current games, so it's definitely an older one. As well as a tactical pistol being in it. Now, in the one I played earlier, I did actually get a legendary tactical pistol, which was kind of bullshit because I didn't get it this time. I did drop a little late. But yeah, my goal was to run it primarily with pistols because the revolver and the tac pistol both use different types of ammunition. So, like, you can have a hell of a lot of shots, which obviously you need in a game mode like this. A lot of the strategy revolves around primarily just ignoring most of the types of zombies. Like anything that can't directly like hammer you, like the things that throw the fire and the things that throw the ice that give you ice block defeat. Just basically, those are the only things you actually need to kill. Everything else is just like garnish for points. With doing this, I wasn't really looking to get a high score. I was just looking to do it solo, and obviously, like the reason I'm doing this video is because I managed that. Um, then phase two, I was actually able to get the Foundation MK7. Like after defeating the boss with a minigun or whatever gun it is they have on like the first like the mini boss, um, and as a result, and basically because I was only doing the pistols, I was focusing on like specifically not using that. The two attempts I had before this were like using rocket weapons for the final boss, and like not using those throughout the entire match. That way, you've got all the ammo remaining right at the end of the game, and there's me getting the revolver because I already had the tac piss. Um, but yeah, I realised that the explosives you get aren't particularly brilliant. Like you get the grenade launcher, and you get. I had the explosive repeater rifle in one of the runs, and there's the green tac pistol. But I found them to be like while they're effective, they land to do a lot of damage against the boss. The main problem with them is that they take ages to reload, and like generally you don't want to be spending too much time reloading, which is why the first two augments I actually got in this were for faster pistol reload when the mag is empty, and I think it was a deep clip one, the one that gives you a larger clip on pistols, or it might have been the one where your last couple of shots have additional damage. I can't remember what the other one was, but I know I got the one that allows faster reloads, which again, like I'm sort of a big fan of using pistols as much as I can get away with. So that's sort of just what I went with because it works for me and whatever. The first round I didn't really care much, so I went after all the multiplier crystals, which didn't really do much to be honest, but they do drop shit, so it comes in handy. Um, yeah, like so they dropped stuff, but it's like yeah, the first time I did it, I actually used that. I think that's a twin barrel or the twin shot shotgun. I used that, and it's like it's cool, but it's not particularly effective in a horde. The ectoplasm one or the ecto something or another one that fires a bit like the gun, the thing from Dead Space, is pretty good because it fires across an arc, and the infiltrator, of course, which is in the main game at the moment, is really good as well. But the twin shot is kind of shit. You'll see me using the I picked it up, I believe, the wooden stake launcher, which is technically a shotgun somehow. I also used That's what I used to kill to significantly damage the main boss, the first boss, because to be fair, I thought that when that boss is killed, it actually despawns all the enemies, which is why when we get there, you'll actually see me kill the boss, the mini boss, and then like run across the arena to see what he dropped, because I thought I was safe. It was not. But it was close enough to the time limit at the end of the round that effectively everything despawned shortly afterwards. Most of this, like, I could realistically have just stood on a roof and just sniped things. I was also looking for the weapon upgrade things you get. The purple crystal thingies. I think that's what they're for in this mode, for upgrading your weapons, because obviously having more damage output on the pistols is pretty good since they're generally pretty low. Like the tactical pistol I have did 22 damage against the boss, which wasn't an awful lot, and I sort of sat there going, oh, that's not as much damage as I thought it was going to be. Although I did hit a fair number of headshots after that, so kind of didn't matter. This must be coming quite close to the end of the first round, since I'm sort of actually fighting these guys, which is irrelevant. Like, unless you're going for the high score, again, you don't really need to be doing this. It reminds me, I was playing Dead Lucky, I think it is, or the zombie mode that I really like, a couple of days ago, and I was using the pistol, because the starting class soldier, I believe, gives you a tactical pistol, and like, I was using that because it's funny that I can fire that, because I'm sort of trigger finger. You can sort of fire it faster than stuff like the heavy assault, or whatever it is. The SMG that's not really an SMG. I think it's more like an AR. But anyway, yeah, I can fire it fast enough for that to matter. I burnt for a lot of gold cycling for the augments I was looking for, which were primarily just anything pistol based in this mode. Again, that's sort of just useful. I believe the first one I got was the faster reload, but the problem is it's one of those things. I think it was Extra Credits who did the video on like things you regret in gaming, and one of them is like reloading after each shot. And like, even though I've got a faster reload, which means that if I just let the clip run empty and then reloaded, it would have been far more beneficial for me. But like after each kill, I ended up hammering the X button to reload anyway. Just don't know why. I'm not that smart. Missed. What a shame. So yeah, like again, it's just ignoring all this shit. Like, they can't damage you as long as you can walk very slowly away from them. It's just the fire throwing one and the ice. I think an ice throwing one actually does get me in this. And I end up sliding, because I end up quite a lot outside the ring in a few seconds, and get hammered on quite a bit. I think twice in this one. Like, usually, like, mainly your two main goals are stay within the circle and don't get surrounded, because if you get surrounded, you're fucked. And I think, if I remember rightly, I go back for something and I end up outside the ring, and then there's like too much stuff. There's just too many guys, and jumping out managed to save me, but it wasn't ideal. Yeah, they drop upgrade points, so I go back outside the circle to pick them up, and oh dear, I wasn't completely surrounded here, which is great, because obviously that would suck. But I believe there is one when I'm fighting just after I'm fought the mini boss that caused a lot of the troubles. Bonk and bonk. And again, I go back outside the circle to pick up the weapon upgrade stuff, because, well, just because. Honestly, I quite like the revolver. It sort of reminds me of the mammoth pistol, except not. It uses medium, whereas the mammoth pistol uses heavy. And medium is like fairly in abundance in like a lot of different game modes, because obviously like ARs and DMRs are sort of like a very common weapon type. I didn't actually see that gun, whatever that was. I just ignored while I was playing. I thought it was a bush bomb or something, but now I'm beginning to wonder if it's a whip. That'd been interesting, but I don't think that I don't know if Fortnite has that kind of weapon, so it's all a matter of not knowing. I was trying to get on top of that. So over on the left there, I actually saw the fire throwing guys as I missed the thing, but it doesn't really matter because, well, they're all dead now. Like, you can sort of half tap outside the circle, like, as long as you're not outside it for too long, it's probably fine. But, otherwise, yeah, that was me upgrading, I believe, the tactical pistol, because I had the light ammo buff, I think it was. So, like, things that use light ammo have faster reload. So yeah, in this I just sort of just do the same thing, and I go back up onto which roof do I go back onto? There's a roof over the side. I ditched the twin mag because it's not good for. It's not really that good. Like, it's got a lot of shots, but I still haven't worked out exactly what that. This would be soaring sprints. But yeah, like, I haven't worked out exactly when you do the fast reload on it. Like, 'cause you have to reload it twice to get an actual full mag, and like, or a full clip, so to speak. But like, I haven't worked out how many. I haven't really paid enough attention, basically, and I don't know how many shots the half mag has. I'm guessing if it's 20 shots, then it's 10. I was trying to see where the boss came from so I could hammer him for a while, and there he is in the lake, or she, who knows. Luckily, they take out some of the terrain for me, so I don't have to worry too much about that. A lot of these were misses, I'm willing to admit that. It wasn't until I swapped to the pistol that I actually started hitting a lot more. The thing is, I'm not really used to... So stuff like pistols, I think, are all hit scan weapons, whereas they will generally always hit their first shot, whereas the... I don't know about this. This feels like a hit scan weapon, but at the same time, it's the bullet decay that I haven't gotten used to yet. And in a second, I'm going to just swap to the revolver because I missed too many shots with this. It's also only doing 35 damage, which isn't really that great. Although I suppose if I was at a closer range, I'd probably be dead, because they'd be a lot more accurate if I didn't have the cover. Most of the shots I hit with the revolver and the tactical pistol were headshots, so their shields and the rest of their health fucked off very quickly after I swapped. I forgot that you could teleport. But yeah, so they die very soon, and I think, oh cool, so that despawns all the enemies on the map. Oh. Man, I missed the tactical pistol. Yeah, so I didn't see any in front of me, so I thought, it's probably safe to go down there. Grabbed all the ammo, see the MK and the ray gun. I also did pick up the ray gun. Didn't end up using it, didn't end up needing it. I think I used it for like some basic enemies, but otherwise it was like, it just went unused. Oh yeah, in the last game, it might have been this one, it might have been the last game, but one of those got close to me. I didn't realise they actually just explode if they get too close to you, because it always comes up with like a safe explosion or some shit. And like, because I've never let one get close enough before, and it did, and I was like, oh okay, so that's the thing that happened. That's it. That explains, why safe explosion, I guess. But yeah, it was very comfortable after that. Both the pistols were on blue after that, and then I swapped out the stick launcher because I didn't enjoy it that much. Got my favourite gun in the world. I also dropped the explosive C4, so I always try, for every time I've done it, I've tried to keep the C4s and the TNT, because I assume, big boom, haha. But the problem is, with the C4, is planting it in good enough locations where you can detonate it and it actually does enough damage. And the TNT, obviously, same sort of thing, is you've got to plant it in a place whereas, like, once they've moved, they're basically on top of it. Just doing another run over to make sure that I've got enough. I've picked up all the ammo. Should really have focused on this area a bit sooner. And I'll go back to the weapon bench because I think I've got enough, but I don't. I think I get the last upgrade to weapons in the next area. I can't remember. I think both of the pistols are already blue at this point, but I think I get... If I go to one, then it means that one of the pistols, probably the revolver, is a purple. And again, dead simple. Just focus on the things that can actually hit me. Like, these guys, not really a huge concern because they can't damage me from range. That guy, there you go. That's me getting stuck with that. One of my least favourite debuffs. And I've just made it worse by running... There you go, and I'm getting mugged. Luckily I don't die. Missed the weapon pickup. Not that it matters. You only get like 3 total, unless you're like really, really hammering it for the points. But yeah, just focusing on the ones that can harm you from range is basically the only thing you really need to worry about. Like, the other things aren't really that big of a deal, because obviously you can just outrun them. If you get soaring sprints, even better, because it means you don't have to be close to them for a much longer amount of time. It's actually quite fun watching this back, because like there's a game that I need to also record of where I queued into squads and ended up getting second. I need to see if that's still available. I hope it is. I hope they haven't nuked that one yet. That was a good fucking game. But yeah, luckily the combination of it ending at frenzy fields and me having the MK7 and not having used any of the ammo is literally what saved me. Like if that combination of things hadn't come up, like I probably wouldn't have had as much luck. So, and here we are at Frenzy Fields. The location of the final battle. Just... Beep. I thought that was weapon upgrade, it's not. I didn't realise shot grenades were in here. Well, I suppose I can see the argument for them being in here, considering like you can send a whole bunch of zombies back into the storm or something, which doesn't actually do you that much good now I think about it. The sniper must be a scam. I've had the option to pick it up a bunch of times and it's like, no, not in this game mode. I don't think it's a good idea. Check the bomb for ammo. Basically nothing I care about, and I think what I ended up doing was like looking at the ammo counter and just seeing, yeah, I'm actually at full for all my guns. More C4, which I didn't pick up. Yeah, eventually you just sort of get used to like the ammo capacity for all your guns. So the first time I did it, I actually started on top of the barn because it seemed like a good idea. This time I decided to try something a little different. Tick, tick, there it is. Swap to the MK. So, like, it's a bit like Alberich or Gideon in Elden Ring. Just like shooting them while they're spawning is an easy way. Plus the critical shot, as I found out in this one, it's not his head, it's that hole in his chest. So hammering him with the MK into that is that helped a lot. I didn't realise that. So I thought his aggro range was that he'd get to the front of it and knock it down, a bit like the Goliath fight in the Automata. It wasn't. I don't know why I'm ignoring the boss right now. So yeah, he took down the middle part. This was probably one of the weakest ideas, but on the other hand, it saved me a little bit of trouble, because obviously if I'd stayed on that roof, he would also like stay in the middle of the building or just rip it all down. That second jump was lucky. I didn't think I was actually going to get the grapple. But in the season before this one, the MK was my favourite weapon and I got extremely, extremely good with it. I believe at this point it is almost on like half health, more or less. So, It's not that much further. I don't know what happened there, but I did get a second jump, so I must have just clipped the very edge of the building. I could probably have pumped another round into him here, but it doesn't matter, it's over. Keep hammering him, hammering him, hammering him. I tried jumping sideways because I was trying to grapple up, but I forgot that you can't do that. And one more clip and he's dead. There you go. And that's how I did it. Kind of mostly just cheese and ignoring the game mechanics for the most part, but at the same time, if it works, it works. I mean, I've had people messaging me about how to do it, like sort of like, oh yeah, you could like build a giant, like you could build a giant tower, and like it's like, but why you don't need cheese? Like one of the times I did it before this, we got it down to like so little health, and it was just the two of us. So it was sort of like, yeah, well, if we can get it to that, then basically we can do, like, all we need is like one more person. So yeah, anyway, that's how I did it. Thanks for watching.